Hey, stand by a second. I'm going to reset the mic. There we go. And we're live. Happy New Year. Shaggy SoCal with 12 for Forza. And time for the first track guide for 2024. First season of Thursday Night Thunder and for 2024. And we're starting it off in the Corvette C8.R. I think it's 2020 Corvette C8.R. Forget the year on it, but it's the only C8.R in the game. So I'm actually going to start with, I believe, what's going to be race 2 first. The first week we're going to be at Laguna and Mid-Ohio. I've done enough track guides at Laguna. I don't know much else that I can relay. At least as far as the Laguna guide, it'll be more, looking at trying to figure out where the new reference points are, since things have changed a little bit in the game. But the second race is going to be Mid-Ohio, which is new to Forza Motorsport. Still a track I'm still trying to relearn. I think the last time, I'm not a sim racing connoisseur, so I have not driven, I've never played iRacing, so I've never driven versions there or even any of the other sim games out there that have Mid-Ohio. For me, my last experience driving Mid-Ohio was IndyCar Racing 2. So we're talking mid to late 90s. I think this track, the graphics are going to be a little bit better, and the track's probably going to be a little more accurate. But what we're going to do is I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to run a couple of laps just to kind of refamiliarize myself with it. Probably look for some braking points, things to look for. I'll do a slower kind of track walk. Maybe get a little more specific of what I'm experiencing with this Corvette. Places to watch out for, especially on the back half of this course. So they call it the S's, but it's also called the Madness. And as you start driving it with this Vet, you'll quickly understand why they call it the Madness. But let's go ahead. I'm in test drive right now. Let's just go ahead and start racing. Let's run a couple of laps. Now I'm on soft tire compound with about 16 laps of fuel. We'll see kind of what the lap count will be. I'm thinking it's probably going to be 17 or 18 laps depending on our lap times. So let's go ahead and hit. There's a couple of places where your throttle application is going to be critical. Being smooth on the throttle and smooth on your steering. Even seeing, you could say the tires are probably still relatively cold, but you can see at the back end's stepping out a little bit. This is open tuning for this series, as long as you keep it to the stock PI. And I'm pretty sure when Matt sets the lobbies up, he's going to mandate stock. So don't try and get tricky and jury-rig the PI for the races. Because all of a sudden you'll find yourself, why can't I load my tube? Second gear here. Careful. A lot of cresting turns that are going to upset the back of the car. Into the S's. Keep the third here into Thunder Valley. A bit of wheel spin going over the hill there. I always tend to turn it a little too early. I actually did it somewhat okay there. Oh, that's a little wide. We'll do one more lap. Hopefully. Tire pulse temp now. Still trying to get that one consistent. Alright, that's okay. So I do this little bit this time. Short shift, feather the throttle, dance on the pedals a little bit. I'm working a lot harder than I need to through there. I think that's part of it is just as I run laps, I'll sort it out and hopefully smooth it out later in the race. Okay, so that's kind of this is a tricky track to master. But heading down into turn one, what I'm looking for, and it's funny because they do have the braking boards. And just now, like again, a lot of this I'm still trying to find. You know, I don't want to rely on the braking line too much, so I am still trying to find static references that the game has. You know, much like a real driver would do. So coming down to turn one, you're going to be in fourth gear. Well, I say fourth gear. Let me qualify this. This is open tuning. So whatever gearing I'm in, just to say, I used was a Forza Tune Pro to kind of put a base setup on this car for Mid Ohio. So that's kind of when you get into suspension, tires, and like that differential settings. That's what I'm running. The one thing I haven't tweaked is the gear ratios. The gearing right now that I'm running is still the default gearing that is on the car when you buy it from the showroom, which I think is probably more. It's more for top end, probably more of a Le Mans gear set than let's say a short course here. So right now, for all intents and purposes, I'm only going to be using up to fifth gear. Depending on how you want to tune your car, that might work for you. You might want to tune for 6 gears and just use 3 through 6 for most of the course. Up to you. I've not played with that myself yet. My general thought is, and looking at the schedule for any of the tracks that are similar to Road America, Laguna, I don't think is going to be too much difference in suspension. I forget the rest of the schedule. The only one I think that we're going to have to do major changes is Le Mans, because we're going to want to set up for top end. But anyhow, so just keep that in mind. The gearing I'm running is the default gearing, so it is really mainly a 5 gear tune, at least for this circuit. So your mileage may vary as you figure out what you want. But for turn one, I'm in fourth gear, and with the braking line, it seems to line up with about where the 100 board is, and the crane there. So it's like I'm not really seeing the 100 board as I'm getting down into turn one, because I'm trying to look in here, because it is kind of, you got the pedestrian bridge, or the bridge over there that does kind of block a bit of the visibility through one. But just figure out what works best. You pass the camera position. If you can spot the one board, great. But yeah, again, I tend to be looking more to the inside anyway. It's not a heavy braking. This is going to be just probably a real quick trail brake in, because you don't want to over brake and lose too much momentum, because you want to just. I'm going to carry through here in fourth gear. So turn in the fourth gear. I'm going to be looking for the inside curving here for that kind of denotes the pit exit. Rolling back into the throttle, I actually want to try and have the car about here at the start. You can almost say the apex is almost at the start of this curving. You might think it's later, but I'll start rolling back into the throttle. First couple of laps until the tires come up to temperature, I wouldn't be flooring it. You're probably going to be experimenting with the throttle coming out of the corner, because as you can see, as you exit, it kind of does take a little bit of a dip. It's kind of a little bit of a dip, a little bit off camber. It is enough that, especially if you're going to run medium tires, or when you run medium tires, if you're too aggressive on the throttle with the weight transfer to the right side, and again, depending on your setup, the setup I'm running right now, it'll happen. The back tires will start to spin up, and the back of the car will start to snap out. And at least my experience here is, once that back steps out, it's very tough. If you're not on top of it or expecting it, and you don't catch it in time, it's like you're off. You're going to lose the back of the car. You're going to loop it around, or you're going to spin it up, and you're going to careen it back across the track on the other side. So Just know that as you hit the apex here and you start to roll back into the throttle, especially as you hit that little bit of a crest, the back end of the car may want to step out on you. Just be ready for it. May throw a little counter steer in. Um, and again, particularly on the medium tires. Softer tires, once they're up to temp, you might be able to do it. You might be able to roll back in a lot earlier and be a little more aggressive. I haven't fully experimented that myself. Heading down to the keyhole, bring the car back to the left side. Still working on exactly where I'm braking. I am still relying on the braking line, but you've got enough references here on the left side from the braking boards are really nice and prominent. And you might be able to pick something off, beyond the catch fence. But for the keyhole, this is one of these. Ideally, it's a double apex. It's a double apex hairpin. But the other thing to note is you're going to crest going in. It's going to come down. You're not going to get a lot of help on the exit. So this is another one where your throttle application on the way out is you're gonna want to practice it. For some of you, if you turn traction control on it, I wouldn't blame you because if you spin the rear tires up, the car will bite you. But I'm tending to be, at least for this initial part, is I'm not getting right on the curbing, and I think the braking line is a good guidance here because it does want you to bring the car out probably about to mid-track and then turn it back in for a late apex. And for me, I think where I'm playing around with trying to know visually when I think I can start rolling back into the throttle, I'm looking at where the curbing ends here, the inside curbing, and where this, where you have the change in pavement color from older to newer pavement. Usually when I'm getting about here, this is where I think I can really start rolling back in the throttle. I've got, I can start unwinding the wheel and take some of the weight transfer off the left side. Get onto the throttle, let the car come out to the left. I can use a little bit of the exit curbing here onto the back straight. Again, this is the longest straight on the track, so very important to get good exits out. And it's got a little bit of a kink, so I can look for the cones on the inside. Car out here. And again, I'm still trying to find reference points, so I'm relying on the braking line. Unfortunately, the gates in practice is probably a good, don't rely on those too much as you're practicing because they're not there in the race. But it is right about here, where they have their time thing there. So maybe it's the yellow cutout in the fence. Maybe it's, let's back up a little bit further, is the two board. Yeah, the two board's right about there. So if you can spot that, you might even look at the wires crossing over the track that, as you're reaching those wires, that's a good, reference point of, hey, maybe I need to start braking. But I'm in fifth gear with the current tune. I'm dropping it down to third. Get the braking done, turn in. I'll clip the curbing here a little bit, let the car come to the inside. Still in third gear, give it a little gas, quick brake. This is where I differ a little bit, I think. I'm still trying to work this out, what works best for this car. What works best for me is I will drop it to second gear here. And I think this next turn, because it's a left-hander, it's cresting a hill, you're trying to get back to throttle, the back end's going to want to step out. So there's two philosophies, at least. I think the one I would prefer is to be a little bit off the curbing here on the left side, drop it to second, and try to get the car turned so that I can start to straighten out, and I can straighten out as much as possible as I get back to throttle. And again, it's just trying to get the weight a little more centered on the rear wheels so that as I roll back into the throttle, if the tires spin up at all, it's going to minimize how much the back wants to step out. I've seen onboard footage of the C8.R where they actually go all the way out to the right side and then bring it back all the way to the left and into the S's. I like keeping a little more. Pardon me. Didn't get a lot of sleep for New Year's. But you can kind of see. You can kind of see the tracks there where it goes all the way out to the right and brings it back. For me, I kind of like maybe mid-track, maybe a little more on the left side. I think exiting here mid-track is probably the best compromise, but up to you. Bring the car back over the left side, braking right about the 50 board. I'm still in second gear. Turn it in. I'm going to late apex this one on the curbing. That's my intent. Most often not, I'm probably going to be on the left side of the track through here. But ideally, I want to try and get this car back to mid-track for these next 2 corners. Still up to third gear at this point. Going to try and late apex this one. This is a blind crest. It's a blind crest in setting up for for the end of the S's for that right-hander to Thunder Alley. This is one where I expect most of us to have problems. I would expect to see a lot of people having the back end of the car step out or going wide into the next corner. But I don't really have any tree to spot. Maybe as I'm looking at the pavement, if I can notice that, is I try to center up on the darker pavement cresting over the hill. But the straighter you can take this, the better, because you want to bring it up over here. Still maybe third gear, get to the curbing on the inside. And this is kind of like this kind of reminds me of the, let's see, turn 3, kind of in Indianapolis, setting up for turn 4 on the infield. This is one of those where you're going to have a little bit of steering in as you're braking for this corner, but you are going to want to let the car go all the way out. The danger part is that you miss the braking and then you just go straight off on the left side. But the braking is somewhere, depending on how well you get through here, the braking could be as early, as you're reaching the edge of the curb. I'd say to the edge of the pavement, where the pavement color changes. That's if you're on a clean lap, a clean fast lap. If you're in traffic, obviously you might be able to be in. You'll be a little slower. You might be able to be on the throttle a little bit further up. But ideally, you want to get the car slowed down. Turn in for Thunder Valley. You can do it in either third or second gear. I think for me, it's going to be traffic dependent. I kind of like third on my own, second in traffic. And as you turn in, you're going to clip the apex late. This is the other one. You got to watch how much throttle you give and how aggressive you are on the throttle cresting this hill, because as you hit the backside of the hill, this is about where you're going to feel the back of the car step out, depending on, again, if you're running traction control, you may not. But if you're not and you're already full throttle, you're still going to have a little bit of steering here. The back end's going to want to step out a little bit. So it's kind of one of those, know to expect it. But, again, softs, you might be able to get away with it more than you can on mediums. So heading up the hill into Thunder Valley, last couple of turns, bring the car to the right. I'm aiming for the 2 board. That's where my braking is. I want the car all the way to the right side here. It wouldn't surprise me if I clunked the inside barrier or the outside barrier here, setting up for the final 2 turns for the carousel. Braking at the 2, it is a little bit heavier braking, at least lap over lap. It's a little bit heavier braking than I'm expecting. I'm in 4th gear at this point. I'm still figuring out the cadence that I want to do on the downshifting. If you get your braking right, you can do 4th gear through here and then worry about downshifting then in the carousel. If you want to break that out a little bit, you want the gearing to help the entry to this corner, you can drop it to 3rd here. That might be the safer bet. Regardless, I'm going to try and get to the apex here, let the car go all the way to the right side to set up for the carousel. Braking just past there, I'll probably be relying on the braking line for a while. But this is the other one where it's kind of a double apex, or at least you're going to be on the right side. Normally this would be like, oh, you should be a little more to the left. Just from momentum wise, the line seems to be let the car go to the right, brake into this corner. You're going to actually let the car drift out to about the middle of the track, and then late apex the end of the carousel, setting up for the final turn onto the front straight. So brake down to 2nd gear. My tendency is, again, I tend to turn in too early for this last corner, but I'd say the braking line's actually, the guidance line is actually pretty good here. You can also even look, again, where they've done the pavement change, where they've had to repave a portion of the track that's gotten worn out from the ideal line through this next corner. So you can also use that to line up. You can see it's a late apex. And this is one where you do really want to try and keep the car on the right side of the right half of the track to set for the final corner. So I would say as you bring it out, have it about mid-track. This is the last corner, as you probably saw in my demo lap. This is the last corner also will, because it kind of banks in, you will, depending on how aggressive you are on the throttle, you will hit a moment where you might spin the back tires up a little bit and the car might step out as the weight sets getting into the final corner onto the front straight. So my suggestion is, at least visually what I picked up on is, I'm in second gear at this point. As I get to the curbing, I'm going to pop it to third. So I'm going to short shift to third, and I'm going to back the car up just a little bit. Again, this is another one of these where the curbing on the inside isn't, it curves a little bit and it straightens out. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the car parallel with the last part of the curbing. If I'm parallel here, pop it to third, then I've got pretty smooth steering on the way out. This is about where you'll feel the back end want to step out, if depending on how much turn in you have and how aggressive you are on the throttle. But if you're smooth on this exit, you'll be able to let the car come all the way out. You might use a little bit of this curbing here, and then you're onto the front stretch. So this Mid-Ohio is a challenging circuit. I expect a lot of us to have moments throughout the race. But enough of that. Let's actually get out of test drive. Pardon me, I didn't get my drink here set, and yeah, that's fine. And let's set up for the mock race, and let's just kind of see what I run into. The nice thing is Forza, I think, in my own playing, let's see, load setup event, load saved options, Mid-Ohio, yep. Okay, I'm actually going to bump this up to, no, we'll do 17 laps. Late morning, let's do late afternoon. I have no idea what the weather's going to be like. Again, I think for what Matt sets is the starting time of day will be random, but the weather will be, I'm not sure exactly how it's probably going to be starting time of day random, weather random. I think in trying to do the variable, we always, that's why the first season we always ended up like, we're in rain again. So we'll do late afternoon. I'm actually going to do random for the weather. Let's see what happens. Though if it is rain, I might reload it. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a full race. Driver design's on. So what I'm trying to set up, I'm still experimenting with this, but I think I've finally got the rules set where I will start in the back. And I'm also, for the GT class in front of me, for those guys, I am going to have them go off, do a per row roll off of a half a second. Actually, let's go ahead and let's do 2/10, just so that they're not all. I kind of want them a little bit spread out at the start, so that I have some traffic to work through. That'll kind of serve as my own kind of delay. Let's see how this works out. And accept all. Hit OK. Drizzle. I don't want drizzle. Drizzle's not fun. All right. No. We'll do partly cloudy. Late afternoon, partly cloudy. I don't think I'm skilled enough to handle rain with this car yet. So let's see. We're going to do 17 laps. Let me go and fuel and tire. And if that's about 17 laps, it's about half tank, right? Yeah, so 47%. I'm going to start on the mediums. And the last thing I think I still have to double check, so bear with. Very good Forza. Wait. No, not very good Forza. Forza, I said in the options. Bucket me, 1. 1. Min, 1. Max, 1. Me, only 1. Everybody else should have been in the other group. So, fix that. Change car group, so bear with me. GT, change car group, GT. Feature parity. I have to do this at all in Forza 7. Just assume that I was always in the initial player bucket, and if I set it max drive avatars as 1, and I'm the only one in that bucket. Car group, GT. Okay, so everybody's in blue, and I'm the only one in red. Okay, now, hopefully... Alright, so cross your fingers. Let's just go, you know what, just for kicks and giggles. Let's go event list. No, not event. There we go, good. See, it reordered it. So that's, no, it didn't. Okay, event setup, so let's just go ahead and accept all. So it still lists me in 12th, but this is the experiment. I should be at the back because, let's just do event setup because there was, grid ordering is PI, we don't do ascending order. That's what messed me up last time. Enter pit stops, compare last groups, order by car group. So that should put me at the back because I'm starting, my group is starting a half second behind the GT. But there we go. Okay, well, fingers crossed. 12, okay, so. All right, well, fingers crossed. I might get run into. Yeah, it's put me in the middle again. This is gonna be, actually, you know what, like. That might be. Let's restart the race. Now it's put me at the back. Forza. What the hell? Okay. Now let's start the race. Just make sure fuel and tire. 18 laps. Oh, yeah, maybe. Oh, 17 laps. 17 lap race. I'm barely in the 18 laps. That means I shouldn't have to refuel. I'll start in the mediums. Okay. Let's see how we do. I don't know, your mileage may vary, but as you're working on your own tunes, I don't know. Well, it still put me in the middle. Enjoy. You guys go ahead. I'm doing something wrong. Man, I don't have steering. Oh, Dios mío. No, I'm not talking to Siri. Shut up.
Okay, I found this on the web for how do you spell no, I'm not talking to Siri. Shut up. Check it out.
I should just turn my phone off. Okay, so let's go ahead and exit. Quit race. So yeah, steering bug isn't fixed. And setup. Let's go back in. Let's just double check and make sure all my settings are still there. Class, number of laps, we said 17. Late morning. Rolling, partly cloudy. Driver difficulty, number of avatars, 23. Me. Okay, 1 of 1. Half second behind. Forza GT, that's fine. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. And I know that Bucket 2 is also Forza GT, but that should not matter. Put me at the back. Put me in the second group. Ooh, excuse me. Actually, I'm just going to bump this up to a second. Let's see if that... See if we can figure out the intricacies of pre-play setup. Roll off delay. It's currently get start. Okay, yes. Okay, rules. Rules. Standing start. Standing grid order now. Roll off type per row. You know what? I'm just gonna row. Three, number of laps, end race timer, none, compare last bat, mandatory pit stops, 1. Group score, yep, order by car group. Abdal. Then we have to go in here, then we have to set the driver list back up.
The iconic Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course was built to the contours of the land, with twisting, plunging corners and exciting high-speed crests, making it a favorite for both drivers and fans.
And that's where... Come on, Forza. There's a reason I said 1 of 1. Get in the right bucket. $3.24. Good. So event info. I'm gonna see if I can jury rig this thing again. Still don't want to start 12. Why do you have me starting? Set up. Let's load in Mugello and let's see. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get it to like, okay, now that you can see we want everybody in the other group, let's reorder it. Our list should have, that's what I want. Okay, so that's the trick. Shouldn't be this difficult. Should not be this difficult. Okay, accept these options. Okay, we're now back at Mid-Ohio. Skip that. And all right, let's double check the car, fuel and tire. I want to start a medium compound. We set it on 47%. 47. Yep. Okay. Event. Let's just double check driver list. I'm at the back. Okay. Okay. Fingers crossed. Start race. Am I at the back? No, I am not at the back. And I'm going to get run into, and I'm going to get damage, and I'm going to have to start this whole thing over again. The way. Okay, at least the AI didn't run in the back. outside here. There, nope, I'm in the lead. Tires still. I expect a lot of people to spin out there on lap 1 of the race. So just everybody's pitting. Yeah, it takes about a lap to get. Okay, so breaking about the 100 board. So if you feel the back end step out, just the first thing is just get your foot out of the gas. And then if you need to, get to the brake. If the car's still kind of sliding, then get to the brake. You got to slow down, straighten it back out. Short shift to third there. So yeah, I'm braking right at the start of the curving. And again, I'm on medium tires as well, so a little bit less grip. Third just because I'm in traffic. Let's see if I can set up. Now setting up, looks like he's got a little bit more straight line. I don't know that I would try and force a path into the keyhole unless I got a heck of a run or tried to dive bomb. I'd rather try and get the run out of here, the longer straight, a little bit more time. But clearly they've got a little more top end than I've got. Outside, got to be careful getting the throttle there. Again, I'm setting up a little bit wider just to help make sure I get a good run out of here. There, I got a run. Yeah, not close enough to force a pass there. You know what? I'm going to be a little cheeky. I'm going to keep it in the middle, make you take a really tight line. Pop out. Let's see if we get the crossover. We're still side by side. I got him on the exit. Okay, well, I was expecting that, just trying to set up the outside move. If the supercar there would have pushed wide, got a little too hot in the keyhole, then I would look for the crossover and exit. But they backed out of it. Come on. Yeah, I'm really not getting, at least on the mediums, I'm not trying to get back to full throttle until I kind of got the car, straightened out at that crest there. Forget 900 degrees rotation. I got to turn the wheel more than I'm used to. But don't be surprised if you see that happen. Pit exit, you can see we actually don't get released until we're onto this short straight. But just watch crossing over that curving on pit exit when during the race, especially when people are starting to cycle through on pit stops. I'm still apexing too early to the exit of the carousel. Got to work on that. Gotta run. So yeah, I will take the look into the keyhole, but I got to make sure I keep it to the inside. Very easy to run somebody wide. Told you I'd thunk the wall there. That's a little better. Inside. Okay, you backed out. Dropped a second because Bomber's still there on the outside. I think I've got him cleared now. Yep. we're gonna box this lap and get on the softs. I'll also get a better idea of how badly the my little spin at the last turn hurt me. Pit entry catches you later than you think. So pit entry is just go. You're going to have to brake and get it. So my first time I tried going in the pits, I thought it was going to catch me a lot earlier. And skip. Oh, little drive chain damage. So yeah, you do have to brake and at least get the car turned in. It catches you as you get past the, I guess the pit, the inside pit wall. And again, still under control of the game, and you get released here. Oh, grip. I love thee. So I like the fact that now with quick stops on, we get the little thing that tells us in the leaderboard how many pit stops people have done. So it's, you know, figuring out who you need to really race or not, especially in the latter half of these races, is nice. I mean, at least right now where I'm at, I can only see the leader, but definitely lean on the softs a lot more. I mean, there's just no wheel spin there at all in the final turn. And we'll see it. We'll see if that was a fluke or not here. And be careful of the inside curbing. That King Cobra is in the Viper. Brake a little bit, I can brake later. There. Still got to be careful getting into Thunder Valley. Still getting used to with the vet is being able to wind it out as, you know, the revs out as high as it. you're able to. We'll take a look. Again, just giving myself a little space so I can see, but also it also helps gauge where am I actually quicker. You know, if I get too close to the car in front of me, then I'm going to start running their pace and not mine. So I'll probably get a good run out of this one. I'm going to drop to third just to, and turn in late. But that's all right. Alright, not going to be able to pass into the keyhole. I can take a lunge, but I'd rather be right. I'd rather get a really good run out of here. Get the draft. Take the outside, but hopefully, nope, I'm not going to have it clear. So I got to leave a little room. Oh, excuse me. Okay, that's not the safest rejoin, but... Okay, Cobra, that's the way you want to race? Alright. Still getting a little wheel spin there. Try hard mode now. Still struggling to get out of the carousel. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try and set up for that back straight, but maybe not be as nice. Well, yeah, I'm coming alongside, so I'm actually going to take a look at the inside here. So it's not impossible to do a pass into the keyhole, but I would say if you're seeing taillights, you know, of your opponent on the left side, if you're going to try an inside move, you're not alongside. And I would say I would only try doing that kind of move into the keyhole if you are overlapped. But if you even see just one of their taillights or their right side taillight, it's going to be dicey. It's going to be sketchy. You're better just backing off and getting a really good exit onto the backstretch, you know, to take them in, you know, to get the draft and make a better move on the longer straightaway. And again, the back half of this course is really never any ideal place to pass somebody. It's mostly going to be passes of opportunity, you know, taking advantage of somebody's screw up, which is another reason why you probably don't want to be right on somebody's tail if you're trying to figure out a pass, because you want to be, it's that balancing act. You want to be close enough to take advantage when they mess up, but you also don't want to be so close that you get caught up in it. Catch 10, but at least lets me know if I hadn't messed up the we'll look at best lap times on the AI. But again, it's kind of me trying to figure out, you know, how do I probably would have finished up a little bit higher in the order, though I don't know that it would have been that much higher. So good. At least it's one of the things I wanted out of free play going from Forza 7 to this game, which, you know, simply is I want to be able to go and have a good race in the same, you know, the same division without having to kind of jury rig things to get faster opponents. So seems to be maybe reaching that. Of course I got it. You can kind of see the cars still want to drift out there a little bit, even on soft tires, and they're really not worn all that much. So, but that's the setup I'm running. Your setups may be better, they may be worse. Oh, 25.7. That's good. So that's Mid-Ohio. Again, it'll be the second race, I believe, on Thursday, and it's test. It is a technical course. A lot of weight transfer moments and some places where the back end's going to get a light. So just you know, I would say if you're going to spend time practicing this week, you know. I'm saying don't spend time at Laguna, but we figure we've raced enough at Laguna that for the most part we kind of know the idiosyncrasies of the track. I would spend time here if you haven't raced Mid-Ohio yet. Love this track. Great track to run at. I'd actually say this is now another really good track to develop a setup on. You get a car that works here, that works well here. I think it'll be a good starting point for just about every other track this season. So with that, I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to do a quick track out at Laguna, just because I also need to practice. So hope you guys are having a great new year, and we'll see you soon on the racetrack. Happy racing.